So after the 7 Years' War, Britain was in a lot of debt, so they were like, hey yo, we need money, so like, here's a stamp act. The colonists were like, nah, we ain't paying that, so they protested. Then Britain was like, I bet, and put the Townshend Acts, which said y'all can't do assemblies no more, and you pay even more taxes now. The colonists were even more mad now, so they protested in front of some redcoats in Boston, but then, well, you can probably guess what happened. After the Boston Massacre, Sam Adams and his boys, the Sons of Liberty, were like, oh nah, these people crossed the line, and dressed up as Native Americans and dumped some tea on the Boston Harbor. This made the king very angry because he wanted his gold peak, so he said the Boston Harbor is closed. Officials will see a fair trial, we need a new government for y'all, and our soldiers are living in your house now. The colonists, as the name suggests, couldn't tolerate that. So they did the first Continental Congress in Philly, and everyone signed a petition that told the king, ayo, leave us alone. Nah. The British commander said he was ready to attack, but this dude Paul heard about it and rode all the way to where the soldiers were to warn them the British were coming. The first battle was in Lexington and Concord. The British took over Lexington, but the colonists fell back to Concord because there were more troops there. The colonists won, and then we had the Second Continental Congress. After that, the commander-in-chief, I don't know if you've heard of him, his name is George Washington, but he led the troops into the battle at Bunker Hill. The British won, but it inspired a lot of more people to join the war. A little after that, Ben, John, Robert, Roger, and Tommy, but mostly Tommy, wrote a breakup letter to the king called the Declaration of Independence, which basically said, hey yo, you don't own us no more, we're free, and you can't do anything about it. Washington and his army crossed the Delaware River during a heavy snowstorm and at night. Then the next major battle was in Saratoga. This battle was the turning point of the war because after the colonists won, France realized that we actually stood a chance against Britain, so they joined us in the fight. 3 months later, Washington and his army persevered through the harsh winters at Valley Forge, surviving the likes of disease, starvation, and freezing to death. Good golly. The last battle was at Yorktown versus this guy called Cornwallis, and we won by making them surrender by closing off the shore so they couldn't get reinforcements. So we made a deal with Britain called the Treaty of Paris, which basically makes it official that we were our own country now.